Welcome, everybody, to episode 7 of Shitcoin Solutions. I am Rick, and that is my trusted partner over there, Lee. And today we have with us Elizabeth Peters, and I'm going to let Elizabeth talk a little bit about herself for a second.
All right, I'll start out and say that, so I dove right into crypto in the beginning, and I wanted to try everything. And then I had to kind of back out. So I started in the stock market, and I knew that I wanted to invest my money in something that was up and coming. So I slowly saw Bitcoin on the rise. And as it was on the rise, I decided that I was going to switch from the stock market over to some crypto. And I think we're going to go into it in a little bit, but I jumped into, I think, every wallet that I could imagine and all kinds of coins and ended up losing my ass in the long run.
That sounds familiar.
Yes, but a lot of lessons learned. So right now I'm really into privacy coins. I like those. There's a lot of things in Texas that are restricted compared to other states. And I figure it's because of the money that's in Texas, or that's what they say. So I was like, I want privacy coins to be able to keep my stuff private. If I was going to go into the crypto, I wanted everything to be like decentralized. I didn't want anything that was common or any of it to come back to me. I wanted to I didn't want anybody to know what I had. So that's where I got started in crypto. And once I backed out, I find myself focusing more on our popular coins and throwing them into like a long-term investment. In the beginning, I did a lot of the smaller coins, and I just realized that I didn't have enough time to spend wrapping or focusing on what the current day's hype was.
All right,
but that's where.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, you're okay.
All right, so one of the sites that we go to, or two of the sites that we go to, is CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, because you can actually go to those sites and get the coin address, so that, or the website, so that you can, like, say, if you go over here to Bitcoin, I'm sharing the screen right now. Over here to Bitcoin, and up here on top, you can go to bitcoin.org, and that will take you directly to the site. There is a lot of fraud in everything that you do. There's, if there's anything that involves money, people will find a way to defraud other people. So,
Absolutely.
So this is the way that I found to get me to the actual websites. Instead of going to, and here's CoinGecko.com. We'll have all this stuff in the show notes at the bottom. And so, like, if you go on CoinGecko.com and you click on this, and you go over here to the right side, it'll say, same address, bitcoin.org, and that'll take you directly to Bitcoin's website. So that is what I do, and I'm going to send it back to Elizabeth so that she can talk about the different privacy coins that she actually does use. You said you use Monero, correct?
I do use Monero. We talked about how I got hooked on McAfee, and then I started looking into Monero, and from there I just kind of picked up any of the coins that were privacy coins. There's Dash that I invest in. A new one is an NFT that's coming out. It's the Haven Protocol. I think that it is
Havenprotocol.org.
Yes, it is. Is it XHV? Is that what it was?
Let me pull this up.
Yeah, it's at the top on your tab, Rick. It's at the top, XHV. Yeah, on your tab.
XHV.
Okay. Yeah. Up here at the top.
I have a few friends that are into crypto. They mine crypto, and they were talking about it just being one. It's very cheap right now, so I put a bunch of money into it. They say once the DeFi apps become more popular, which of course we've started to see that over the last few months, the price is just increasing slowly but surely. So I figure I'd get in now. I feel like everything is kind of already has one foot forward on some coins, so it's difficult to get in the beginning. And that's what, in the beginning of me joining crypto, I realized that I was coming in on the back end of everything. So I saw this one was upcoming, and I didn't want to be on the back end of something, so I decided to invest in that. And then what was the other one? Oh,
Zcash or
Zcash was another one that you mentioned. I don't know anything about them personally.
And I invest a lot in 0x as well. I know that we didn't talk about that one so much, and I'm not positive on the privacy with that one. You'll have to look into that. You might want to timestamp it. But
I know that Zcash on their website itself, I've got there is z.cash. Privacy and convenience is top header on their website. So I would imagine that that is something that they take pride in, and that's their goal. You know, with that being in the top header of their website. So I personally don't know anything about them other than you can mine the coin.
I was going to say, for us layman folk out here, somebody explain why they're more private than Bitcoin or ETH, or why are they considered privacy coins? That's something going into the show. I didn't know they had their own category and why they're described that way.
So transparency is key in the blockchain. All wallet addresses, sending and receiving, you see the exact amount that's sent, you see the exact amount that's received. And like say Monero, for instance, one of the things that they do is they encrypt some of that information so that it's not so transparent as far as who it is that sent, who it is that's received, and sometimes even how much was sent and received and things like that, so that there is an amount of transparency. Now, there's always ways that you can go through and dissect stuff and get some of the information, but you're not going to be able to. I mean, because there's no names attached to most wallets, anyways. So
right
now there are some if there's KYC involved, but if there's the non KYC know your client wallet, then there's no user information that's stored, so that allows for privacy.
Yes, and that's one thing that I noticed about when I first started getting into privacy coins was it was difficult to find, especially for me in Texas, it was difficult for me to find a wallet that didn't want the KYC, because I was like, why am I doing privacy coins if I'm going to give all my information to the wallet? And then of course, it all comes back to a number. I figured they could trace it back to me. So I was able to use the VPN and get some wallets that didn't require the KYC. So that was nice. Ledger is where I just hold everything. So I haven't had to put any of my KYC information in there. I don't know specifically if it'll require that whenever I go to withdrawal, but I don't think that it's not really giving me any instinct that I need that, or that I need to provide that.
We got a Ledger Nano, and I don't believe I put any information like that into the software side of things. But I've not really done a whole lot with it yet either. So it's very limited on functionality. So I wasn't all that impressed myself, but it's just me.
Gotcha. And we'll talk about that when we get into hard wallets here in a minute. And I'll give you a few tips that helped me with Ledger, kind of got me hip to it, if you will.
All right. So what is your personal takeaway from the privacy coin? Like pros and cons. Do you have any cons when it comes to privacy coins?
Finding a wallet that is going to keep that privacy intact, I think. So finding one that's not going to require that KYC information, that was the biggest one for me, especially in Texas, because we can't use Binance, like we can't use, there's a lot of wallets that are like available to people in other states that aren't available to those in Texas, unless we use a VPN and go a different route. You know what I mean? Like you have to jump through hoops, and I don't like that. I wish it was a little bit more cut and dry.
Yeah. Do you have a personal favorite on privacy coins? Like which one?
Monero. Okay. I think that's where, because I feel like it's the top, and it's like investing in Bitcoin versus one of the smaller coins. I would just rather go with what's going to lead the pack, and then I can maybe disperse if I need, because I can always buy Zcash or 0x, any of those with Monero. So I think that it's easier just to keep it there so I can stay a little fluid.
All right. You want to talk about some of these wallets for a little bit then?
Yeah.
All right. So let me share the screen over here again.
Rick, don't forget to give a shout out to your Bad Crypto podcast, boys.
Oh, yeah. Bad Crypto. I started listening to them a few months back, and that's kind of what got me into podcasting in the first place. And then I heard an episode where they had John McAfee on it, and that's where I kind of started learning about Monero. And now I'm actually mining Monero with our CPUs. And
Nice.
At one point, we had 4 CPUs mining Monero at the same time. But we've kind of had to change gear and do some other stuff, and we're just about ready to start mining again with those CPUs and GPUs on those machines.
Yep.
Shout out to Bad Crypto. Anybody that wants to listen to a really good, solid podcast, consistent, twice a week, badcryptopodcast.com. Those guys have taught me a lot.
Nice.
They've taught us we need to move out of state if we get too big into crypto.
Yeah.
Right. They say that Texas is going to be the new Bitcoin mining capital. A lot of people from over in China, with all of the new restrictions that they have, are coming to Texas. And because Texas has so much land that we can put so many solar panels, so
right,
a lot of it's open where I'm at. And they said it's going to be the new place to mine Bitcoin. So I'm excited to see what that will bring.
Yeah, there's a couple other states that are trying to be crypto friendly. Florida, I know that they've talked about it, and there's another state, northwest somewhere, or out west somewhere or something. I can't remember which one it is, but they've got some interesting new crypto laws that they've recently put into place to incentivize miners and things like that to come out there. I'll have to look it up, and I'll try to put it in the show notes.
Nice.
Right. So tell me about your ledger hacks that you were talking about, because we've got the ledger, and I sent an NFT over to that, and it never showed up in my wallet. So like through their interface, it just never showed up, and so I guess it's waiting on software.
It's not gone.
Yeah, it's not gone. It's there, but yeah,
it's there. It's just not showing on your mobile device. If you log in on their desktop version, they have, I don't remember the exact name that they call it, but if I log in from my computer, I have access to a lot more coins than what is just on my phone. And I think that they really just call it their desktop, or their desktop interface. It is any of the ones that you can't find on their app. Like at first I couldn't get into Binance. There was no XRP. But once I went online, then I was able to access all of those that they didn't have right off. Even Zcash wasn't on there. And actually, I think it might be now. They have an app that you can download. But any coins that you don't find on there, you can find them on their website.
On the website. Okay.
Yep.
And their website, we're just pulling that up right now. It's ledger.com. And so, I'll have to play with it a little bit more. We were kind of waiting towards the end of this bull run to start moving stuff over anyways. So I personally believe we've got another few months left. So I'm kind of being patient as I possibly can. And, it won't take that long to figure it out. I just haven't devoted any time to it.
Now, and the only reason why I know that is because I was the same way as you. I was like, why did I buy this if I can't use it? Because Binance was a huge one. I was like, I want to put this in my hard wallet. Like, how can I do this? Especially whenever you're dealing with some of the smaller coins on Binance that you can't find everywhere else.
Yeah.
In the process, before I learned about ledgers online, that's whenever I discovered SafePal. And I like SafePal because it is on my phone. And I can access everything from my mobile device. So I don't necessarily have to use the internet. And SafePal was very cheap. I think I paid like $50 for one, and I got like this really cool leather case that went with it to like keep it safe. And I like that. All of the ones I can put Binance on there, I can put XRP on there, and it will, all the safe coins for the most part, like I can hold on there. I'm trying to think right off if I had any trouble loading any, but I don't think that I did. All of them were accepted there. One thing I didn't like was some of the fees, but for withdrawing, but it was only if they were like small amounts. Of course, if you are withdrawing like a decent amount, the price almost kind of went down. So I liked that.
So it's safepal.io. And again, we're going to have show notes at the bottom, and I'll have all this stuff in it. The website's pretty cool. It's got a lot of, information on it. So let's go to safepal.io and take a look at it.
Yes. And one thing I did, Rick, is I backed up my SafePal on my ledger, and I didn't back up my ledger on my SafePal, which I probably should do in the near future, but I was able to back up that SafePal on my ledger.
Okay. So you just put the seed in there and you're good to go?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Cool.
Because I figure if I have if I have hard wallets with 2 different companies, that way if something was to happen with one, I still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that with the 2 we got here. I just, like I said, I've been busy with all this in the background.
I was gonna say, doing what? I mean,
I don't know.
Running a podcast and doing all the stuff you do. Man,
he's going full time, and
he's got unopened boxes of computer parts for computer he's supposed to be building this weekend already.
Yeah. I won't cut it off. All right, so where you at here?
You didn't talk about Trezor. Do we have any information on Trezor?
I personally don't. I've never used the Trezor, but their website is trezor.io, trezor.io. Do you know anything about the Trezor?
I do not. Once I got into the 2, I was like, I'm not going to, those hard wallets are a little pricey. So I was like,
yeah,
I'm not going to jump in there yet, but the price is decent. And I've heard lots of good things. So I'm not opposed to getting a Trezor. It'll probably be my next hard wallet that I buy.
Go ahead and show this here. This is the EliPal. It's a hardware wallet. Let's see. Oh, it's hardware wallet. This is the only thing that I don't like about it. It's the way that it connects. It's a magnetic strip, that it's connected to, so it very easily can, come unhooked, and it is a air gap, so there is no direct internet connection on this right here. You got to use your phone to connect through the app to transfer anything in and out, and go through the little. Basically, you just scan your phone, the app on your phone with it's got a camera right there, and so you scan the app on your phone, and then you go through the sequence of transferring and stuff. It doesn't have a whole lot of it's got a lot of coins, honestly, and you can add stuff to it. Again, it's another one that I personally need to work with. That's kind of why we were talking about this stuff today, because it's getting about that time that I need to start transferring money off the exchanges and put them into cold wallets and just allow them to do what they do. And that's just, crypto goes up, crypto goes down, it goes sideways sometimes. Sometimes it stays the same. Let it do what it do.
Yeah, and you can actually exchange within your Ledger app, or if you use the one on the desktop. So that is something that I really like too, because I can still mess with the DeFi's and some NFTs. They have access to like Rainbow, and or maybe they're getting that. But on the desktop, you have access to do a little bit more than I think you do on some of the other hard wallets.
Okay. So what is your favorite hardware wallet?
I'd have to say the Ledger. I like it because, only because I can do a little bit of exchange in there and I can move things around. That's definitely the reason why I like it the most. I'm not pulling in and out of that wallet all the time, so that's nice.
Makes sense.
Which one's your favorite, Lee?
The one that Rick figures out how to use the best, safely stores our money, and in case Rick dies, is the easiest for me to figure out how to get our money out. How's that work? Is that a fair non-objective answer?
Well, I I went through and I wrote down the keys to all of our wallets in Spanish, and I don't know Spanish, so good luck deciphering all that information. And
hey, I got Google Translate. I'll work that shit out.
No, listen, that's one thing that I struggled with at first whenever I started moving everything over to cold storage was I was like, if I ever got a car accident or like my family's gonna have to pay for a funeral, like how are they gonna have access to my money? So I gave some information to my dad and I was like, listen, here is where the key is. You're gonna have to come get it yourself. I'm not writing it down anywhere. But here's where you will find it. And here is like the 4-digit pin to get into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then you're still gonna have to have that key. And I was like, the key is here. So I don't know. It's still kind of scary though.
Yeah.
I have a safe. Well, I have all my, and that's something just off subject, but I have all my passwords written down on just actual paper somewhere. And I've told at least one person like, hey, this is where I have money. This is, I mean, I don't know. I may not have much. You need to check all these accounts if something happens to me because I do have so many exchanges, so many wallets. And
yes,
Rick and I, we're definitely behind for what we have, but we need to get either a spreadsheet. I mean, I have a big safe here, either a spreadsheet and some actual paper or some thumb drive, something generic, something that's secure to us that we can make more secure.
Everything backed up on, or had everything on my C drive and all the keys, and I moved I got an external drive and moved everything over to the external drive and put everything on a thumb drive, and I don't think it was 48 hours later that C drive crashed on me. I would have lost everything. Not, I mean, I have stuff backed up on my phone and stuff like that, but I would have lost everything on that C drive. Like if I didn't have other options and all that stuff, and so now everything's printed out. I've got multiple thumb drives. I've got external drives and
multiples of everything.
You know what's funny? When it's almost like we don't have storage space for it.
Well, we've ran a little low.
I mean, I only have $15,000 or so worth of hard drives behind you. You can't find where to store the most important seed key phrases to our entire operation. I mean, come on, man.
Well, no, listen, if everything gets hacked and they get in there, they're going to have access. Like how many times they tell us not to take a screenshot? They tell us not to take a screenshot of our key. And how many times have we all done that? I am the queen of, I'm like, listen, you can have my pictures. So I had to take all my pictures off of iCloud, off of Google Drive, all of it. I was like, you can't have access to none of my stuff.
Right.
Because I have so many screenshots.
Yeah, I did that a lot in the beginning too.
But yeah, that's definitely as much as we say do your own research, I would say back up your passwords upon password, your seed for. I mean, how many articles in the last 6 months have popped up about somebody? The one guy threw away, I think, $75 million in Bitcoin and was offering the town in England to dig up. People have lost their seed phrases. I mean, that is the one. To me, it is a positive that it makes crypto super safe, but at the same time, it is a huge downside for if you don't have any kind of recovery, if you don't have any kind of, I mean, that is something somebody getting into day one needs to know with a wallet, with anything.
Write it down.
Write it down, tattoo it, put it under the kitchen table, on a napkin, and something. Put it as many places as you can, and let somebody know. Even if they don't know about crypto, they can go say, "Hey, I know something about Coinbase, and I have these." Well, we'll start there. Give me an email password, and we'll start there. We'll go find the money. But that's a huge thing.
Is key.
Yeah.
So moving on to software wallets, which are basically the same thing. Can you explain the difference between a hardware and software wallet?
For me, I would explain the software wallet's going to be one that, I mean, it's a software that either you have on your phone or your computer, but it's backed up. It goes to an internet and maybe more people would have access to it. You don't have offline access to it. So if the internet goes down, how are you going to get your money that's on the internet? That's why I was like, oh, I have to have a hardware wallet because I want to be able to have access to my money if something happens, right?
Yeah.
So, but a lot of the exchanges, for the software wallets, I've tried them all, and I've noticed that most of them, unless you're dealing with a less popular coin, you're going to have much more expensive fees. Like to trade Bitcoin, I had a few wallets that I had Bitcoin in, And just to move it over to kind of get it all in one, I ended up spending more fees in trying to move it than I did in buying it. And I was like, this is crazy. Like it literally screwed me.
Yeah.
But that was definitely a beginner's lessons learned. Don't throw $50-$100 in each wallet and think you're going to get something.
Right.
Yeah. Man, a lot of what she said sounds familiar, Rick. But something I saw I think it pertains to this, and maybe you all know about it. So talking about the consolidation with SafeMoon, and it was a person asking how that works with, hard wallets. And they said that it's still stored on the blockchain, so it's not going to affect it. So what is a hard wallet really holding? If you have your 300 million SafeMoon in a hard wallet and they do this consolidation and they're saying it's still technically stored on the blockchain, what is the hardware wallet holding essentially?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
So I know for my ledger, you have a pin that you put in whenever you first turn your ledger on, right? Mm-hmm. So if I want to take money out of ledger and like put it back in Coinbase so I can put it on my card and use it somewhere else, I have to okay it on my ledger. But to okay it on my ledger, I have to put in that pin. So it has two places. One, I'm going to put in the pin, and then the other one is I have to okay it inside of there. So even if someone had I don't know about my seed, but depending on what information they had, they're not going to be able to okay it on that ledger device itself. That's why they say you should kind of have maybe two and back them up. I have my ledger backed up on MetaMask. If something was to happen, I can pull it out, but I have to be able to open my ledger, put in that pin, to be able to access any of the funds.
The way I read
it's a digital signature verification. So
pretty much
what's stored on there is the digital signature verification in order for you to transfer money out.
Yep. So this may be above all of our heads, but he was saying basically they can do the consolidation even if you have your money in a hardware wallet and don't give them permission, I guess, per se. Is that because the next time you connect?
They are the contract holder. So they can do that with anything at any given notice. They can do that and it does not matter because they are the ones who own the contract.
Okay.
Now, if
I read that and I was like, well, what's the purpose?
Then I don't really know how that works if it's completely decentralized.
Right.
There has to be some centralization to it somewhere.
Yeah, it has to be. Okay. Well, like I said, it's just something I saw today that pertained. Because that made sense. I'm like, yeah, I'm sitting here holding my 300 million. And then all of a sudden later I look and it's 30 million because they did a consolidation. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I actually holding in my wallet? If you were just able to change my share in my coin, but that makes sense. They are, on the developing end of it, so they can do whatever the hell they want.
Pretty much. Yeah. You're at their mercy at this point.
Right. And the more it goes, it sounds like that's happening, period. I mean,
I've seen that.
SafeMoon is going to consolidate. Get on board or get the hell out, one or the other.
A lot of people getting out.
I have a PayPoint is a software wallet that I have, and PayPoint. Yep. I'm not necessarily a fan. I signed up because I thought that I was going to get, if I bought PayPoint, I was going to basically get an extra percentage back, and I put some money in there. But once first of all, they held my money for a while too, which sucked because I couldn't trade it for like 3 months after I deposited it. So I was like, that's kind of crappy. But then once I was able to, I went back in there, and the portion that, like, how many coins that I had originally bought were significantly less. And I was like, where did my money go? Like, what is this? And it wasn't a significant amount of money, but they are also one of the ones that I put money in, and they have like a checking account and a savings account wallet. And I put some money in like the savings part, but I wanted to move it over to the wallet so I could use it on its exchange, and just to move it within my own account so I could use it. It was like $35 to move within itself. And I didn't like that at all. I wrote them. I was pissed, to be honest. I was like, what is this? So as soon as I got the opportunity, I pulled out.
Yeah. I've got some in the savings account side of it. And I'm waiting for all the fees to come down to a reasonable amount. I'm assuming that at some point, if they're going to be successful, it has to.
Yeah, and that's what I said. The guy said, I mean, he was really nice. I will say they had great customer service, but they still didn't solve my problem, and they took a bunch of my money. So ultimately, what was it? I wasn't a fan. That's why I stick to some of the bigger coins and some of the more popular exchanges.
Well, I mean, speaking of popular exchanges and such, and Binance.us, I had, what was it, XLM, Stellar?
Mm-hmm.
$6,000 sent to me. And the memo was put in incorrectly. And that $6,000 has never hit my wallet yet. This was in May.
April?
I think.
April,
May.
Yeah.
$6,000. I keep getting emails. I mean, saying they're going to do it, but here it's been 6 months now. This is Binance.us on a major. I think. Let me look right here. They're
pretty sure they're 2 or 3.
They're well.
Or no, they might be 4.
XLM is in the top 50 in market cap coins. So.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
they're a major coin.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Oh,
I mean, that's like PNC.
I can't do nothing. I can't go to Binance.us and knock on the door and be like, "Hey, where's my money?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. It's like PNC Bank saying, "Well, we have your $10,000. When we clean the office and we find it, we'll give it back to you." But until we find
by the way, we did find it. Now you have to wait for the person that did find it to hand it to another person, because that's the person that needs to hand it back to you. That's the transaction I'm waiting on. It's been found. Yeah. They've approved it. It's okayed. They just have not sent me that money. So, as you live, you learn. You don't mess with Binance.us no more. I don't. I won't.
Speaking of software wallets, and I hate to even talk about it, but did you see that Robinhood's finally working on actual wallets?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've actually got
not that I'm going back. But,
no, I pulled out. I was taking all my money out of anything that had on the stock market. I got scared a while back when we talked about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, me and Rick both still use their charts a lot. Yeah. It's a quick, easy pull up charts. But I literally have like some pennies that I couldn't pull off, or
I don't think I have pennies left in there.
I think I got like 10 cents left in there or something from a stock sale or something. But yeah, I have no money in Robinhood, and it's just a lack of trust at this point.
I like their charts. I learned how to read charts on their charts. So like what I'm
don't show me that.
Is this no, this is typically usually a good thing. It's when you see that double bump right there, and hopefully on this end right here it's getting ready to do its little run.
Yeah, what they call it, a head and shoulders.
Yeah, but inverted.
Like that. Yep.
So we shall see soon. That's pucker up and kiss your ass goodbye is what that looks like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely ready for a run, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
Yeah, we're due.
I think so too. I'm as long as the stock market kind of stays where it's at, I'm not too like pissed off, if you will, about where the money's at. I'm riding right now. I think that's one thing with a lot of people who are in crypto, like we can hold them, and we're holding. I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, when I see things that are at a number that I feel comfortable, that I don't foresee it going a whole lot higher than that, I will pull some profits out and kind of take it from there. But
for a dip.
And then rebuy at the dip. Yep. So back on the software wallets here. You have a favorite? Do you have one that you use religiously? For me, it's Trust Wallet. That's what I learned on. That is my software wallet. We've got a lot of money in there. We've got a whole lot of coins. I probably got about 600 coins, different coins.
Yeah.
And so I mean that's where I learned on it. So that's my comfort zone.
Yes. I like Trust Wallet, MetaMask. That's where I learned as well. I do use Coinbase to kind of transfer a lot of money, and I like that because it opens up the avenue to transfer it back, and I can put it on one of my cards. I wish that some of the software wallets had cards that went with them, like Crypto.com or Coinbase, because that makes, I want to know, we can all invest, but me from being a beginner, I wanted to know how I was going to get my money out. Like, how am I going to be able to use this at the store when it comes time? And I like that I have both of my cards on both of those.
That's going to be an upcoming show. We've talked about that because that's what I told Rick. A lot of people think you invest money in crypto and how do you ever get it back? That's one of the things. How do you get your money back? People literally don't understand that it's like a stock. Well, they can understand that they can gain money. Okay, well, crypto's not real. I can't put it in my hand. So how do I spend it? I told him, I said, we need to do an episode where literally we go on an exchange, we sell it, transfer it, like show the whole process. This is how you can turn it into fiat money. That is definitely an episode in the near future that we need to do. And
yeah,
my favorite exchange where I started was Coinbase, and I've moved on to Coinbase Pro because it has cheaper. It has cheaper. But for somebody getting, I still think for somebody getting in, Coinbase is probably the easiest. They have once you hit a certain level, they got training videos you can watch and get like $30-$40 of free crypto for different. You know, you get $2 or $3 here, $2 or $3 there.
Yep.
But for somebody who just wants to get their foot wet, I still put them on Coinbase to get started until they have a grasp of it, and it's user friendly. It's kind of like, I don't like Robinhood. Robinhood is super user friendly, and that's why it's popular.
Yep.
And so Coinbase, until you get a grasp, then Coinbase Pro, I think the fees are almost like half on Coinbase Pro and stuff. And you can transfer back and forth free between Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. Now Coinbase only pays interest on some of it, and Coinbase Pro doesn't, to my knowledge. Like Algorand, you get I think 4 or 5% if it's in Coinbase, but if it's in Coinbase Pro, you don't, to my knowledge. I don't know what the reason for that is, but
that's Coinbase.com, and Pro is wait, this thing get on my way here. Pro.coinbase.com.
Yeah, and you see the difference in technical from Coinbase Pro to Coinbase. Coinbase is really, like I said, simplified and easier to use and easier to read versus the technical side of Pro.
You ever use Voyager?
I did a few times. I was actually, I have some money in there right now on one of them, but I didn't like the fees, to be honest. Once it all came to, I was a little bit blown away by the fees. So I was like, I don't want to be part of this.
I don't really like the way that, like, if the value is 1 and you have to buy it at 1.1 or sell it at 0.9, but yet the current trading value is 1. You know, the way that they make you go either below trading value or above it, depending on if you're buying or selling. So I don't like that.
Technically, their version of slippage, I guess.
It's slippage, yeah.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, of course, that's how most of these wallets. I mean, they all have it. Whether, I mean, even on Coinbase, I didn't realize it for a long time when I was buying and selling. You know that it may be a smaller percentage, but there's always some little, I don't want to say hidden transaction fee, but the slippage that you don't always catch on to, where they make their few cents or few bucks per transaction. So
is there anything else you want to talk about as far as wallets go? Like any features or bonuses to having certain wallets versus others?
I will say, I don't know if you guys have you guys ever looked? I've done it. I've had 3 transactions on free wallet. 1 with Litecoin and I think 2 with Ethereum. And when I say free wallet, it's legit free wallet. Like, you have to, I guess, mine it yourself or verify it yourself. They'll send you an email and you like confirm it, and they send the same email like 3 times. You confirm it, and I've used it to transfer money on some accounts that had like smaller amounts, if you will, and it didn't charge me anything. I don't know about the privacy behind it, so I kind of steered away with it because they say you get what you pay for, right? So I was a little bit scared with it, and I was like, when I have transferred out, I've definitely taken it to like a separate address, just to see what it would be, but I haven't had any issues. So it's something I would like to look more into.
I was going to say, don't be too leery of that, because I have some money staked on Nexo, and I believe it was Nexo. I think you get 5 free transactions a month.
Nice.
No fees.
Because of the staking?
I guess. I was just surprised and happy that I got to send my Bitcoin off for no fees. I staked it for a month just to see how it went. It's like $400 or $500. And then I sent it back to Coinbase or something, and it said 0 transaction fees. And I was like, oh, cool. And it said 0. I think it's $5 or $5 a month that you get for free. And I guess since they are just a wallet / like bank, and you stake with them, I guess that's one way that, you know, one little benefit or perk. So that's cool if you're not doing a bunch of high volume transactions, or if you need to do big volume. I mean, hell, if you're sending $10,000 or $20,000, what's the gas fee? You know, for a big chunk of change, and you get it for free. That's gonna be a nice one to put in your pocket.
I bet that they're keeping and they're making interest or something on it while it's in there.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean,
if they can make interest on it, why charge us? Like,
right? I mean, they're I forget what it was. I think I didn't do the loan. Plus, you can also do a loan through them. That's one of the things. That's one of those wallets where you can stake and borrow against it, and they charge you half the interest they pay you. So even though your money's tied up, you can still get half of it back, and you still gain 5 to 6% a month interest on whatever you leave in there tied up. So it's not a bad deal. I mean, definitely they're making money, but so are you, and you're loaning money to yourself. You're not earning it. So a certain uncle that none of us are too fond of, he doesn't get to say nothing about it because it's just a loan. It's not an income.
Right.
So we like those kind that keeps Uncle Sammy blinded in blissful ignorance.
By the light.
Yes.
Blinded by the light.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty slick. I like that option.
Yes,
I miss
that's
the purchase of crypto.
Yes. I don't want anybody to know what I got. It's nobody's business.
That's right. Yeah. That's for sure.
I might have bought it at $5. It's still $5. I don't know what happened. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Just got $5 in there. Lost my ass.
I don't speak English.
I've lost all kinds of gun parts and guns and ammo and a bunch of things that I had. I don't know nothing about them.
Man.
But I hope. Rickford, you got anything else?
Yeah. Just wanting to.
You look like you're working hard over there, buddy.
Yes, I am. I'm trying to trying to pull something up here. All right, something up my sleeve. All right, I'm recently got involved with a project called Hdd Coin, and they've got a silo wallet coming out that I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Chia network, but there's a lot of Chia forks that have recently been coming out, and you're able to farm these forks with your existing Chia plots in farming. So Silo Wallet is they're in cooperation with a lot of the different forks, and so they're going to be able to host Chia and Hdd Coin, and I'm not sure of the other ones for sure. Let me see if I can find it in here. Okay, I don't see it in here. So basically, you're going to be able to. They don't store any of your information on their servers. It's all stored within the software on your phone or on it's a software wallet, so phone or internet. They're doing a beta testing this weekend, and I'm trying to get involved in that so I can actually test it out and take a look at it myself. So I'm excited about that. We'll finally have a wallet very soon to hold all of our Chia forks, and so give a big shout out to Hdd Coin and Silo Wallet, and that's very exciting because there is some coding that all the blockchains have been having difficulties with. So they've got a very large group of developers that have been in cahoots with each other from various blockchains all over the place, trying to nail down this code and figure out how to do it with the maximum amount of security and privacy and everything else that's involved in that. So just wanted to kind of give a shout out to them guys and plug them for a minute. It's Hdd Coin, and let me see if I can pull up their.
What's that web address? Yeah.
Bam, hdcoin.org. It's a proof of space protocol, and there you go. They doing big things over there at Hdd Coin. So,
and everything we do is DYOR, but as you can see, we're highly invested in proof of space crypto. Yes. We have about $40,000 of farming equipment that is proof of space. So we believe it's the green future of crypto mining / farming, and we went heavy on a gamble, hoping that it pays off in the future.
Yeah. So got a question for you. What was your very first cryptocurrency that you purchased, and how long ago was that?
Oh, it would definitely have to be Bitcoin. It was whenever I was on Robinhood and I was messing with stocks, and I threw like $100 in Bitcoin, and then every day I would take my profit out, and I would take my profit out, and it was like $20, $30. So I ended up making like, I don't even know. It was like I made $1,000 on like $100, and I originally bought it for like $10,000, and it was one of those things like I threw a little bit of money at here and there. Well, then I talked to some of the guys from work, and they got me on Dogecoin, and I bought Dogecoin in February, March of this year. So I was actually on a road trip with my dad, and I bought it for 3 cents. I was on a road trip with my dad, and I was
remember that night.
Bar. Yes, I was sitting in the bar, and the guy behind the bar was like, "Man, I wish I would have gotten the Dogecoin." And I was like, "What? I think I got some of that. Like, what are you talking about?" And they were like, it's 60 some cents. And I ended up selling it 72 cents.
Oh, wow. So you was at the very top then. Yeah.
I was at the very top. And I would have never known. I was on a road trip with my dad. I was not paying attention to my phone. I would have missed it, and I would have been devastated, but I made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So
let's not that. I got in 1st of January for .00.
Oh man.
It was less than a penny. I got put this way. I got 25,000 Dogecoin for $175, and had I held it to the peak, my 175 would have been over 15 grand. And I sold it a couple of weeks later for like $30 profit, and was happy as hell, having no idea that it was ever going to go that high. Yeah, I'd have made $15,000 off that 175.
Oh, I believe that was my first coin.
Dogecoin?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I got some ETC back when it was like,
because you started. I sent you the link on Robinhood. You started with Robinhood, then you jumped to Voyager. Yeah, I mean we started chasing all the referral code money around that we could get our free $10 and $20 signups here and there.
No, that BitTorrent, man, I did real good with it until it fell on its face.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
you know.
Litecoin was my first one, and it was back when Bitcoin first hit 9,000-10,000. I think, I bought in at the peak. I had no idea what I was doing. Bought in at the peak, $323. I think it hit 330 and then dropped and tanked. And I got out of crypto for 2 years and let it sit.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was like puke sick. I think I had $1,600, dropped down to like $300 or $400. I was like, "Yep, that's staying there till it comes back." So
listen, crypto is a game of hold'em. You really do have to hold them.
Yeah.
But it's panned out. It's panned out. I've always noticed that when there is a big peak, that there's maybe a smaller peak soon after. So I'll get it on that second peak before I lose my ass again.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've like I said, what we got started. I remember we went from 11 to 24,000 in 4 days in Trust Wallet and various coins. And we were high as a kite. We were just both texting each other, couldn't check the wallet fast enough. How much higher is it going to go? And we didn't cash out a dime.
Not even a dime? Oh,
no. I mean, I pulled money out of certain coins. First run? Yeah, because
I thought it dipped back down to 11 or 8 like 2 weeks later. We were back down under what we originally had.
No, because the Safe Mars, I was able to pull some of that out, but I stuck that in something else that
tanked.
We lost it, so you know.
Yeah,
we
basically our 20.
We took our profits and we gambled on other stuff and just let it ride. Woo!
Yeah, we figured if we're catching one heater, we might as well catch another heater. Well, when the heaters tanked, our 24. I'm pretty sure it dipped down to like 8 grand. I mean, it was under the original 11 grand that we had in there for a while. Yeah, so that was sickening, and definitely learned to scale out, take some profit, and put it in a stable coin for the next dip. That's for sure.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Is that's where I was at first. I was like, why do I want a stable coin? And I was like, that's why I want a stable coin, because I want to have something I can throw my profit into.
Yep.
That I know I can get out.
For sure.
So not opposed to a stablecoin sometimes.
Yeah, they're not exciting, but they're safe.
Correct.
All right, well, let's put this episode to bed, and I want to thank Elizabeth for coming on and sharing with us.
She survived.
I did. I didn't croak over.
And you did it.
We told you you'd have fun once you got on.
No.
That does it for episode 7 of Shitcoin Solutions, and as always, stay shitty.
Hey, shitty. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Shitcoin Solutions is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors and are not registered to provide financial advice. Our opinions and the opinions of the guests of our show are strictly our own. The cryptocurrencies discussed on the show and various forms of social media are not a solicitation to purchase or sell any security in any form. If you decide to buy or sell any of the cryptocurrencies or securities discussed on the show, Shitcoin Solutions is not responsible for any gains nor losses that result from the opinions of the host or guest. The best way to learn about any of the vast amounts of cryptocurrencies available is to do your own research.